Namaskar. Friends, Swamiji has extensively spoken about the current situation and how we look to it. I would speak more specifically about the current economic scenario in the country. If you all remember, during the financial meltdown years of 2008 and thereafter for a few years, the word which was very commonly used was VUCA, V-U-C-A. Most of you must have heard about it, but for some, I would repeat it. V is for volatility, U is for uncertainty, C is for complexity, and A is for ambiguity. Again, for the last 5-6 years, the world is passing through this VUCA period. First we had COVID, then the war in Ukraine, and now the war in the Middle East. It has disrupted the normal way in which the world functions. Rule-based things have gone. United Nations have unfortunately become substantially irrelevant. I wouldn't say it's a dead body today, but it has become irrelevant in the current situation. And there was a lot of talk earlier whether India is coupled with the world economy or decoupled and all. But we now know by experience that we are fully coupled with what is happening in different parts of the world. The current situation, particularly after February 26, has become quite unpredictable and challenging at the same time. Till February end, before the war started in Iran, we were confident of achieving 7% plus growth in the current year. And in 1 month's time and till today, things have changed completely. If you remember correctly, almost for last 2 years roughly, the inflation in our country has been consistently hovering between 1.5% to 2%, at times a little less also. Our CAD, current account deficit, was between 1 to 1.5% for several months, and it was also positive for many months in the last 3 years. Similarly, the fiscal deficit, which had risen to about 8.5% during the COVID times, systematically we had brought it down, and it was hovering around 4.25, 4.30. I now fear that this fiscal deficit will increase again. The inflation is rising. Every summer it rises, but this year when the inflation is rising, it is because of, I would call it an imported inflation, not necessarily the Indian inflation or any other factors. The monetary policy and the fiscal policy have been working in tandem for many years now, and we see that we have turned the corner. In 2013, India was counted amongst the fragile 5. Today we continue to be the fastest growing economy amongst the large economies. And to measure the size of an economy only on the basis of the rupee's valuation with dollar is not correct. On purchasing parity norm, we are already the third largest economy in the world. And I don't see why we should not be going further ahead. In every sector, whether it is manufacturing, services, or even agriculture, we are doing well. This is a period of transition, that's how I look at it. And I'm sure soon the dark clouds will vanish and we'll again be on the path of growth. When situation changes, we all need to rise to the occasion and take some additional burden that comes our way. Naturally, inflation is going to be a central theme for next few months, but I am sure the way we are working in our country, we are in safe hands and will continue to grow as we have been growing all these years. Last year, figures show that capacity utilization in our major manufacturing units has been more than 70%. And recently you all must have read the report that the investments by the private sector has substantially jumped, which was not happening for some time, years. What is notable and what we have been speaking to some of them is that uncertainty is everywhere in the world. Indian corporates continue to invest substantially across the globe, but then they are not investing as much as it can be in the country. But we see the reversal, and this year it has been good. I believe that as we go ahead, all our sectors will be doing well. There is no looking back. As far as the MSME segment is concerned, it is estimated that we have something like 7 crore 30 lakhs MSMEs, of which 98 to 99% fall into the category of micro and small enterprises. And then they are uniformly spread across the country. Less than half of the MSMEs are in urban areas. Many will be surprised to know that. But then we have more MSMEs in rural sector today than in the urban sector. And all of them, all segments have been contributing to our growth. People ask me at times, what is our biggest growth driver? And apart from, as I said earlier, that all the three sectors are doing well. But I said it is the QR code which is our biggest driving force. You all must have read a few months back that more than 25 crore of our population has risen above the poverty line. And this is the new aspirational segment of the Indian society, which is going to give a big boost for growth and development in our country. There is no shortage of funds. Only thing is, some of them have become a little risk averse as we stand currently. But then the local demand, the need of the country itself is going to propel us further. Our exports have been rising, but then because of the crude oil in particular, the balance of our the forex reserves have been hovering around $700 billion for the past few months. Because there is more of outflow and less of inflow. But the inflow has not stopped. And it will continue to happen as I see it. SMEs particularly, I am not talking of the medium sector, because many of them are associated with large corporates. But the small and micro enterprises need to represent to the government, I believe, on a new package of incentives. Simply giving interest concession or giving a guarantee to the extent of 20% is not going to be enough. India as a whole, whether it is the largest of our corporate groups or the smallest man, has limited capital of its own. And as a consequence, the SMEs should be supported to have enough liquidity with them for continuing their activities. Because with limited resources, if they spend on fixed assets, whether it is constructing a unit for housing their manufacturing unit or purchasing machineries, to that extent, they are starved of their liquidity. We need new packages, new forms of support mechanisms instead of simply having interest subventions or interest concessions. I believe as the situation evolves, new ideas will emerge and the organizations representing the SMEs would forcefully engage with the government and make new suggestions which are more relevant even today. I thank the organizers for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share my views, and also to particularly share the views that our economy is strong fundamentally. We don't have to be excessively worried with the current transitory period, and we all will bounce back. Thank you. Thank you once again.